Welcome to the So Much More podcast, where we talk with people in the custom window treatment, soft home furnishings industry, and so much more. I'm your host, Seal DeGuglielmo. My guest on the podcast today is Kristen Speyer. She started Redhead Sewing LLC more than 12 years ago in the Texas Hill Country. Kristen works to the trade and has a core group of designers to keep the sewing machines running furiously. There's currently a small team of 2 other workers. And the last time I interviewed Kristen, there were plans for expansion underway. That's why we're going to talk today, because that expansion has happened, and I'm excited for her to share that with you. Kristen and her husband have been married for 22 years, and they spend their downtime mountain biking, traveling, and trying to outsmart their dogs. She also has a passion for books, friends, and office supplies. If you have not listened to the first podcast I did with Kristen, it actually was a listener favorite, and I just reran it recently, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes. Kristen is very open and shares a lot about her journey in that podcast, and I'd love for you to hear that as well. I hope you enjoy hearing from Kristen today. Kristen, it is so nice to see you again. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Told you off recording, but I am recovering from a little bit of a bug that I picked up. So I sound a little bit rough, but I'm feeling pretty good. And just in recovery.
Good. So I did actually just rerun the first podcast that I did with you as a listener favorite. But for anyone who has not listened to either of them, and I highly recommend you pick one and listen to it, tell us just a little bit about yourself, who you are, where in the world you live, and anything you want us to know about you.
And all the things. So my husband and I live just outside of Austin, Texas, in a small town called Spicewood. We have 2 dogs. And my business is focused on working with designers, working to the trade, and we really just do window treatments. That is all we focus on. I have 2 employees right now, and we've just recently moved into a new space. So I'm hopeful that I can find a 3rd, maybe down the road, a 4th employee. So in the midst of a lot of upheaval in life right now.
And that move is the reason that I reached out to you, because so much has changed since the last time we spoke. And before we started to record, you mentioned you have tripled the space, and you really didn't add a whole lot. You added 1 table.
No, I had a 500 square foot shop that I was working out of. We had finished out a section of our garage. About 4 years into that, I also bought a storage container, like a shipping container, and was able to use that for storage of fabrics and hardware.
Okay.
And that gave us a little bit more space. And I have been, for about 5 years now, I have been trying to find a larger space.
Okay.
And it hasn't happened. And you go down one road and you're like, this is going to work. And it does not. We were in that cycle, and it was the end of June. On a Thursday, I got really frustrated, looked and said, what is there out there in the neighborhood? I found 3 properties for lease. I sent off inquiries to all 3. I heard back from 1 realtor, and I viewed the property on Monday, and on Friday, I signed the letter of intent.
Oh, wow.
It is a 5-minute drive from my house.
Nice.
Right around the corner. The layout is exactly what we wanted.
Okay.
The lease price was exactly what I could afford.
Okay.
So yeah, it was absolutely terrifying. And I had a conversation with my mom. I said, I don't know if this is what it looks like when it's God's timing, because everything just slots right into place.
Right.
Or is there a huge red flag that I am missing?
Right. This all looks so good, except for that one thing.
It's ticking off all the boxes.
Yeah.
But it has been just a fantastic solution. I did have to do some upgrades. For example, the roll-up door was not insulated.
Okay.
It's over 100 degrees in the summer here. We have to have an insulated door.
Right.
Had the floors in the warehouse area, had the floors sealed and epoxied. We added in some more plugs, and my husband put up lights for us. So there was some work that had to be done,
Right.
but I wasn't starting from scratch.
Okay.
And so it was all very, very manageable. And again, I had been planning to move for 5 years. So I've been squirreling away money into savings for this purpose.
Okay.
And so financially, I was prepared for this.
Okay. And I think that's one of those things. I know Michelle Williams has talked a lot about, like, how do you prepare for things like this? You've been setting aside money. This wasn't a sudden thought to do it. And it also wasn't. No. We've talked about opportunities and being prepared for them. And I know you did the work, but the opportunity to move presented itself.
It presented itself in the midst of massive chaos. Like it always does, right?
Right.
That is just life. So we have this whole summer, we have been on intense deadlines, and that was when we found this location.
Right.
So now we're coordinating the work that needs to be done before we can move in.
Right.
And then coordinating the move with minimal downtime.
Right.
Because we don't have the time
to
and it's pack up and move and unpack and then figure out how our workflow is even going to work.
Right.
So we had an install, fortunately, in this area on a Friday. One of my installers, he's also a mover.
Oh.
And so we finished up our install. He came to the workroom. He packed up our entire workroom into his truck.
Wow.
He shoved everything in there. I was amazed. So it ended up being 1.5 truckloads.
Okay.
And by Monday, we were back at work.
That's incredible.
So
that's really amazing.
It was insane. My mom came over, and she just, while they were unloading, she started cleaning and wiping down and putting stuff together. The two ladies that work with me, Jennifer and Catherine, they were here. My husband, for like the entire month that we were moving, every time I came home, he was like, "What do you need? What do you need now?"
Okay.
Here, I found the lights you need. Here's the order that we need to place at Lowe's, to do all the electrical.
Right.
So it really was a group effort that made it, I don't want to say seamless, because
nothing's ever seamless.
It is not seamless.
We know that.
But we were able to do it.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah.
And I think that is one of the things that occurs to people as they're in the process of making these decisions, but it's a big impact. How long are we not able to fabricate? How long are we now? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a really short period for you. That's amazing.
Yes. I was trying to, we were here. My husband was working on the lights, and, he's up on a ladder, and I'm keeping an eye, and I'm helping him move things, hand things up and down. And at one point I was trying to just lay out a small Roman shade and start gluing ribs to it so I could at least be getting something done. Right. And at one point he looked at me and he was like, "What are you doing?" I don't know. I'm trying to make it all work.
Yeah. And if I focus on this little thing right in front of me, then I don't have to focus on all of this going on around me.
On all of the other things that I can't do anything about.
Right.
So we've done that. We've now got here, and then on, I had, I think probably about 2 weeks after, possibly a small breakdown, and was like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
Why did I sign a 2-year lease?
What was I thinking?
I don't know what I'm doing. And so I reached out to Rose in New Jersey because I knew that she had done a move too.
Right.
And I said, when you did your move, did you all of a sudden question yourself and think that you just made the worst decision ever? And she wrote back almost immediately, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did. And it was the best thing I've done for my business.
Oh, how did that make you feel?
And I just went, okay. This is just part of the process.
Okay.
And here we are. We're now almost 3 months in, and I don't know how we did this without this space.
Oh, what a good feeling. That's awesome.
So that imposter syndrome went to the side. And yes, I feel much more confident now.
Okay. So, Kristen, in the process of, you said this is something you've been working on for 5 years. What were the specific things that were the impetus for you to say, this space isn't working any longer? I need a larger space and I'm going to pursue it. Because a lot of us go, yeah, it'd be so much better if I had more space, and then do nothing about it. What really made you move on this? Especially since there were a lot of...
we had a lot of roadblocks.
Yes, thank you. Roadblocks was the word I was looking for.
Coming up against roadblocks. So one of the big things is that, again, we're out in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So we are on a well, and we're also on a septic system.
Okay.
Our house and garage are basically on 2 separate levels, and they're separated. They're not right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go up an outdoor flight of stairs to get up to the house.
Okay.
I can't put a bathroom in the garage.
Gotcha.
Because the septic is not located in a convenient place for that to happen. Mm-hmm. Plus, the wellhead is right there. And so there's a lot of restrictions on what we can and cannot do. But that means that my ladies have to walk up to the house to go use the bathroom, to go use the kitchen, whatnot. And now I will say my ladies are amazing. I love them. I fully trust them. So that's not a problem. But it's not the most convenient thing.
Gotcha.
Especially in the rain or in the heat, right?
Right.
No, but this is not a good long-term solution.
Okay.
There is also, so that was a key factor. Mm-hmm. The other factor is our workload. We've got a massive workload, and I really, really need to hire more people. I need more hands. And I just, with 3 of us in that small space, that only worked if I was on the desk all day long.
Okay. And then that's not 3 people fabricating.
3 people fabricating was not really a good solution.
Okay.
And so efficiency wise, we really needed to move into a larger space.
Okay.
So we are bursting at the seams.
Okay.
That solution.
So without having hired another person yet, what differences do you see in your workflow and the things happening in a larger space as opposed to your previous?
Yes. So we've actually gotten a little bit more efficient, because in the old space, I had 2 work tables. I had a 9-foot and a 12-foot. Mm-hmm. But that 9-foot was shoved up against the wall in a corner, and that was holding.
Oh, got it.
Things that were cut, Roman shades that were ready. Like it was storage. It was not a functional, workable table. And so now we have 2 tables that are available to work on, mm-hmm. which means, because my ladies don't need to have 2 people working, tabling a drape. Mm-hmm. One of them can do it And then if it's a big drape, oh, I need to move a width. Okay, they come over, you stop what you're doing, you come over, you help.
Okay.
But in the meantime, somebody can be working on the other table.
Okay. So they're working on separate projects.
They are working
not
separate
working
projects.
together. Okay.
And so that's really made a big difference. We actually have a third table that Callie, Cozy Giraffe, she was trying to clear out a table, and she said, do you have space for another one? And I was like, yeah, I do. She's like, great. I need to get it out of my space. So we do have 3 tables. But now that third table is storage.
Well, we need storage. Let's face it.
We need
flat
storage.
surfaces are good for that.
The goal is that we'll have 3 workable tables.
Okay.
It's also allowed me to organize hardware a lot more efficiently.
Okay.
So I now have shelving, and I have bins for like rings and brackets and finials, all that stuff, right? So the rod goes into the little rod holders, and when I load up, I just grab that rod, and then I grab the bin that has that job name on, toss that all in the truck, and it's ready to go.
So you're able to check in hardware ahead of time, know that you have all of your parts, but then make sure you bring all of them with you.
And bring them with me.
Oh, yes.
That is always the challenge.
Very important.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So knowing that you were getting ready to, you planned this for a long time, but the actual occurrence of it happened in a short period of time.
Very short. Mm-hmm.
Were there any purchases that you made specifically? Yes, you bought some lights and things like that, but was there anything that you had been holding off buying? I know you got the table, but was there anything else that you thought, okay, now that I have the space for this, I'm going to buy blank?
So, no.
Okay.
There are, besides the warehouse space, there's 2 offices. Mm-hmm. One is our break room. Okay. And the other one is our fabric room. Okay. And so I had space to add in another set of shelves. I've got I think they're Home Depot, but they're really heavy duty steel with like mesh shelves. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I use that for fabric. Okay. And so now I've added in another shelf for that. I do have dreams. I have a wish list. Okay. Saw it the last time I went to the conference. There's a company who does it's the fabric check-in. Yes. But you can also set it to cut. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, and it's very pricey
right now, but I do know. It's
so efficient.
I'll blurt it out somewhere in the middle of this interview.
Exactly. Call me at 3:00 and just be like, "Hey, I remembered.
This is what it was." But I do know what you're speaking about, and that would be so helpful in a business like yours.
It would be enormously. That would be really a game changer. Yeah. And now with the space that we have, I could potentially have that. But in the other space, there was just no floor space for it at all. Okay. So that's probably like, I've got to save up for it, but that would be a wish list kind of thing now that there's a new space.
It's a fabric inspection and rolling machine. It really is not that complicated a name, but that's what it's called.
But there we go.
There we go. I Googled it while we were talking. I'm not going to pretend I remembered that. But yes, I know that's been a game changer for several businesses to be able to have that, because you can, it's interesting. So do you check in all fabric before you start a job? Do you roll it out and look at it now?
We do.
Okay.
We don't do it when it comes in because of our workflow.
Right.
But yes, part of our process is before we start, we check that we have the yardage and we check for flaws.
And you don't cut it before you do that?
And we don't cut it before we do that.
Okay. I know that differs by workroom, and I'm always intrigued by it. Yeah.
And it's always that tricky thing of like time, right? Efficiency. Mm-hmm. But it has definitely, we have run into issues where, there's a surprise flaw. but we haven't cut anything. So now we can make some adjustments and we can work around it.
Okay. Okay. So you said that you've been planning this for 5 years. Was it part of a long-term goal for you, or was it a problem solution? It was a solution to a problem, a combination of things. Like what? Yes, you reached a point.
It was really the solution to a problem.
Okay.
And I have gone back and forth for a long time on, do I try to keep the business smaller and not expand? Or do I go ahead and let the business grow?
Okay.
And so I thought that I was going to kind of keep things from expanding by not taking on any more designers.
Okay.
And thought, okay, I'm just going to, like, the designers I've worked with for years, let's just focus on them. And then they've gotten bigger and bigger jobs.
Okay.
And so I'm like, well, I to keep up with this, I have to expand.
Right.
I have to grow, and I have to do that to be able to continue to be support for my clients.
Okay. In the first podcast that we did, you were very open about some mental health challenges that you have experienced. When you make a decision like this, those challenges have to be kept in mind. And you have to know, because you talk about the fact that if you are having a bad day, and just in case anyone hasn't listened, that you have struggled with depression and that you work very hard to keep it in check, but it's depression.
But it's there.
It's a chronic illness. Yes. And that there are days that you just have to say to the ladies who work for you, today is not a good day. Don't take anything personally. I'm struggling today. And of course, they've been working with you long enough now that I'm sure they understand that.
And I think they probably clue into it faster than I do now.
Okay. But when you're deciding, and you mentioned imposter syndrome, okay, I want to grow this business to accommodate the space I need, also to service the designers I'm already working with. Where in that does your brain that's already giving you a hard time step in and say, no, we're not doing this.
I think in some ways, and I'll toss this in. So just to add into the fun mix of all of this, just before this happened, a month before, we lost my grandfather.
I remember seeing that on Facebook. I'm so sorry. And I know you were close to him.
It was, I'm really grateful. I was able, especially in these later years, to spend some really great one-on-one time with him. Mm-hmm. So grateful for that. I'm really grateful that I was able to go out, and I was able to be there for the last 56 hours of his life.
Oh, wow.
And I'm really, he was 91. He did it all and went very quickly. It was really, this is what everybody wants.
Right.
Live full force up until the end.
Right. But those of us being left behind don't want to be left behind. I'm happy that your grandfather had a long, happy life and didn't suffer. But there's sorry a missing piece. Everybody he left behind is missing him. Yeah.
And so it was this interesting thing of, I'm dealing with the grief.
Right.
Coming back into intense deadlines.
Mm-hmm. And
then all of a sudden found the ideal place, committed to moving. And I think maybe that's why that panic hit so hard after, because it felt like such a whirlwind.
Right.
That I didn't have time to stop and be like, am I making the right decision?
Right.
And so that, I think it was maybe stupidity, maybe ignorance, or maybe faith.
But don't you, or a combination of all three.
Or a combination of all three, because we are multifaceted people.
Yes. But don't you also think that when you have been trying to make something happen for so long, I know in my own life that when I've made big decisions and they've taken a while to come to fruition, you stop thinking about parts of it. Like you've made the decision,
Yes.
I want to do this. And then all of a sudden it happens after a long period of nothing happening. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait. I didn't mean for this to happen now. I'm not sure I'm happy about this. Yeah. Because now all of a sudden it is real. And
Yeah.
it's not just a goal or a dream. And it's happening.
And it's happening and you're living it. And so, yeah, there was a bit of shock. Now I will say that the depression and anxiety in the past couple of years has been fairly well managed.
Okay.
And so I had less of thinking about the potential impact.
Okay.
I didn't really think through of how will this impact me, because it's been pretty well managed.
Okay.
But again, things change.
Yes.
And so
that,
it just
something you live with when you have
it's
that.
something. But I, I'm in a good place where I have amazing support team.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a great therapist I can reach out to, my psychiatrist who I see for my medications. We keep an eye on everything. Just my family, my friends. I am frequently at the gym, not just for my physical health, but it's a mental piece.
Mm-hmm.
Getting out, I mountain bike. That has really had a massively good impact on my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been able to incorporate things into my life that really help support my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
That when I do hit those spurts of going, ooh, I've been here before. This doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel good. Okay, now I know who to reach out to.
Okay.
And so the length of those periods, those down periods, can be a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Because I've just over the years gotten a little bit better at recognizing at the beginning, ooh, I feel off.
Okay.
Oh, this train of thought, I know that this is going to start spiraling and it's not true. I know the depression's lying to me now. Who do I talk to help reset and get me back balanced again?
And as we were saying earlier before we started to record, there's, telling someone who's in the middle of a bout of depression, oh, if you would get outside more, if you would do this, is really not helpful. But if you're recognizing it at the beginning and go, oh, I haven't been on my bike in 2 weeks, it's time to get out there. So
exactly
when you are capable of it at the start of it, not when you are in the midst of it.
And so what I would say, this is my experience, because everybody reacts differently. For me, the medication was really key. I know that's not for everybody. For me, that was key because it helped lift those symptoms enough that I could start doing things like getting outside, being active, being engaged with friends, being aware of what I'm eating and how I'm feeding my body. All of those pieces that absolutely support your mental health. It was, for me, only possible once I had the medication.
Okay.
And so I can tell if I skip medication, I do right now, I need to be on it. That's just what my life is.
Okay.
But it does work for me.
Okay.
And then I have all of the other stuff that it's non-medication related that I do, and that it's just complementary.
Okay.
Right.
All right. And again, I appreciate that you share this with me and with the people who are listening, because after the last time we recorded a podcast, a number of people reached out to me and said that it spoke to them about either what they were going through or someone in their family or someone that they loved who they didn't quite understand. And it helped to put it on a different level for them so that they could be more supportive of that person. And you know, I've said in the past that when we have a physical ailment, those around us are affected by it, but it's different than when we have mental health issues. People are affected differently, but everyone around us is affected by anything that we are going through.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And it is very difficult also to be a family member, to be a friend to somebody who is struggling with their mental health. Obviously they're not being their best person.
Right.
And so, yes, if you are that spouse or that parent or that sibling, that is hard. And I think as much as important as it is for somebody struggling with their mental health to reach out for help, it's also important for lack of a better term, for the caregivers and for the support.
I was just about to use that term. I know from family members who have had to be caregivers for their significant other and very differing types of illnesses. It's exhausting.
It is. It can be very exhausting, and it's so important for those people to also be paying attention to their physical health, their mental health. Mm-hmm. You know, making sure that that they are supported.
Right.
Like this is a community thing, and that's hard, right? Is because mental illness really isolates us in a lot of ways, but the way that we get through all of these, and this is true for anything, right? Through parents' illness, all of this is community. We're supporting each other. And because we're all walking this, eventually we're all going to be walking all these different paths.
And no matter who you're speaking to, everyone has stuff going on. It may not be your stuff, but it might be like your stuff. And I mean, there's so many times when I have, you know, interviewed someone and I've said, you know, what has been one of your biggest challenges? And they'll say something. It's like, well, I had no idea that was something you were going through. Yes. And it's someone I've known for a while or that I've met before. And so I think, again, the ability to be honest and vulnerable about what you're going through only helps other people. And you don't benefit by hiding it from anybody around you.
No, it tends to, you know, because when I get depressed, I tend to retreat into my little cave by myself. And it just makes it worse in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is an isolating disease. That's for sure. So it's interesting. We did talk about this before we got started recording too. Susan Woodcock and I recorded a podcast recently about using energy coins, and the spoons came up. And you talked about that in the first podcast about you only have so many spoons a day to spend on the energy, on the things that come your way. And I had forgotten you and I talked about it. My husband had shared it with me because someone at work had mentioned it. But the concept is we have so many coins or spoons, or insert a word you're comfortable with here. And you start out the day. And for some of us, getting showered and getting dressed uses far more of those spoons or coins than it does for someone else. And things come down the road, especially in running your own business and especially in this business that we have no idea we're going to get hit with that day. And if we have used 3/4 of our spoons just to get in the door and turn on the lights, then that one thing is the thing that can take us over the edge.
Don't answer your email.
Because then you don't have to use the spoons for it.
Exactly. Because there go all the spoons.
Yes. So, and I, as you were talking about getting the move done and getting all this, I'm thinking that's a lot of energy. And you're doing it at a time where you are still grieving. And it is very difficult to pull yourself together and be active when you are grieving for someone that you love. So I was thinking about that, like, how did that go for you? And how did you protect yourself? And how did you, in the midst of all those deadlines, how did you give yourself some space to breathe?
Looking back, I don't even know. Because it felt like such a crazy period of time. And for me, I've started going to the gym regularly, shortly after I started my business. And that became I was like, I'm old, and at this age, I really should start doing this. That over the years has become sacred time to me.
Okay.
And so even when I train individually 2 days a week, and everything on my schedule has to happen after that time.
Oh, that is so good that you do that.
That is blocked out. And of course, occasionally I have to make an exception, but it is a very that's my last choice.
Okay.
Those hours are blocked out and I am not available.
Okay.
And I have found that makes a huge difference. And that's the same thing. I do, there's a mountain biking club here in Austin that I'm a part of. And we have a group ride every Sunday morning. And so every Sunday morning, I don't know when this happened, but apparently I'm now getting up at like 6:15 that I can go drive to the trail and ride my bike. I don't get up that early for work. But apparently I do this now.
Okay.
And that is also, this is what I do during this time. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you that when I am mountain biking on the trails, I cannot think about anything else. Because it goes really bad.
Well, and we talked about that the first time, like you have fallen but you have to focus on what is right in front of you and also half mile down the road. You have
half
to be
mile down
aware.
the road.
So you can't be thinking about, well, let's see, if I wanted a 4-inch reveal on that Roman shade, I should have, there's no room for that.
Did I order? Was this the right thing to do? How do I schedule that? Oh, tree is kind of how it goes. And so again, that's also, it's a group. It's an incredibly fun group of people to ride with. Mm-hmm. That connection with people outside of work. Just being able to turn off the brain for that time and think about something else. Those things have become really, really key. And I feel very protective about that time.
Okay. All right. That's fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. The sponsors of the So Much More podcast allow me to bring guests to you each week. And without them, I couldn't do it. I'm pleased as the owner of the Curtains and Soft Furnishings Resource Library that I can use the library to help sponsor the podcast as well. The library hosts the industry's largest curated collection of educational resources for the custom home furnishings professional. Membership to the library gives you access to a wealth of downloadable reference materials, videos, live events, as well as a community of support to help you develop your design, sales, and fabrication skills, and to grow or start a business. Join the library today at csfrl.org. The Workroom Channel is the premier online training provider for professional fabrication skills. Go to theworkroomchannel.com to browse the selection of anytime access courses created by industry experts. Watch detailed demonstration videos, download companion materials, and participate in private course discussion boards with your instructor and classmates from around the world. Start your course path today at theworkroomchannel.com. Education Networking, visibility, and industry discounts are just a few of the benefits that are offered to members of the Window Covering Association of America. The WCAA is the only national nonprofit trade association that's dedicated to the window coverings industry and the dealers, decorators, workrooms, designers, and installers that make up our membership. The library is a gold level sponsor of the WCAA. Join today at WCAA.org. WCAA, where you are never in business alone. Discover Klimaka Studios, where innovation meets exceptional design. Klimaka fabric and wallpaper collections are inspired by the original works of collaborating artists and developed with the understanding of how fabrics are manipulated into exquisite soft home furnishings. Workroom businesses enjoy exclusive access to engineered designs and best trade pricing. From clever layouts to classic linen prints, Klimaka Studios delivers the quality and consistency that your business demands. And Klimaka's reliable, on-time delivery keeps your projects running smoothly. Go to KlimakaStudios.com for swatches and trade account information. Klimaka Studios, for the joy and profit of workrooms. So I always ask the question, have you ever considered quitting? And the first time we talked about it, I'm trying to remember what you said.
Probably all the time.
You have a hard time saying no, is what you said.
Yes. Oh.
So that was causing you, because the answer was not no, it was sometimes yes, because I say yes to everything. So have you gotten better at saying no?
I am practicing boundaries.
Yes.
And here's the funny thing. I didn't realize I was getting better at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one of the big things that I have been saying no to is projects that are remote.
Okay.
I have a number of designers where they have a client that they've worked with here in Austin. They also have a home at another state.
Mm-hmm.
Designer is doing that home. And they've asked, would you be willing to do this project? And I want to do it, right? Because these are my designers. Mm-hmm. We work together really well. It causes me I've done it like one time and it caused so much stress. And we had to rely on an unknown installer to take measurements.
Ooh, I have chills.
You know what didn't go really well? And he charged an arm and a leg and the measurements were wrong.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
And so everything had to come back. Hardware had to be reordered. We had to remake drapery. It was not profitable.
Okay.
And an enormous amount of stress.
Okay.
And I just, after that, I said, you know what? That's not for me. I'm not going to do that. And so I've had to say no to some projects that have been outside of our area. And the interesting thing is that happened recently. And my designer, she said, I really admire your boundaries.
Wow.
And I was like, wait, I have boundaries?
I didn't know I had those.
I didn't know. Oh my God. Did I get better at that? So apparently I've gotten better at this.
Okay. And you know what? I like the way you framed it. Not this is not for me and my business. It's not something I can control the outcome on well. And so while I'd love to do it, it doesn't work for me. Yeah. And that's not, I had a failure and I'm never going to do it again. That is, I learned from this. I learned. Yeah. Okay.
And now the great thing is that with our Facebook groups is that I send out a notice and say, hey, I have a designer working in this area. Mm-hmm. Who in the group is in this area? And so now it's not just I'm turning down my designer and saying, I won't do this project, but I'm able to say, I can't do this project, but here are a couple of workrooms in the area that you might want to reach out to.
Right. That's fantastic.
And so that makes me feel better that it doesn't feel like I'm leaving them high and dry.
Okay. All right. So The first time that we recorded and we talked about what does success mean to you, you said that husbands and teenagers are always honest, and that when a
Yes.
teenage girl walks into the room that you're working on for her and she says, "Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful," that just fills you up and makes you feel fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious with the growth that you've both the growth of your business and the growth of you personally. Do you still define success the same way? Has it changed?
It's changed.
Okay.
Last year, I actually had a meeting with my therapist to discuss this because I was struggling with it. I have difficulty saying this, but my business has become successful. But, I am able to employ workers. I am able to pay myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have repeat clients. Like from the outside, this is a successful business.
Right.
And I struggle with this thing about pride. And it's really the word. It's only the word, right? But how do I take pride in my work? Because in the back of my brain, I'm thinking if I say I am proud of what I do, it is all going to be pride comes before a fall.
And it's going to backfire on you.
It's going to be all pulled. The rug is going to come out from under me.
Because you're bragging.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So I really struggled with this concept and how to wrap my brain around it. And amazing therapist. And so we had just a little quick session about this, helping me talk through. Here's what we came away with, is that the thing that I see as successful in my business are the relationships that I have established in it. I have designers that I've worked with. I think the very first designer I worked with, I think we've now been together for about 9 years.
Wow.
I've gotten to watch her business grow. I have these long-term clients and they trust me. Okay. And they say that, and they say, you know what? I'll ask them a question. Do you want to do this or this? You make the decision. I trust you. Sometimes I wish you would not trust me that much, but I appreciate that. We've established, I know what to expect from them. They know what to expect from me. Mm-hmm. And the same thing with the ladies that work for me. We have developed trust. I trust them. I trust that they're going to make good decisions, that they are going to, that they do good work. Mm-hmm. We have developed, I feel like, a very good environment. I want it. I think that, or they have told me, this feels like a safe environment.
Okay.
For them
That's a huge accomplishment, by the way.
Yeah. And this is one of the struggles, is hiring somebody new. How do we bring them into this really special thing that we've created? Mm-hmm. And so I feel like this, because even if I have to shut the doors tomorrow, those relationships that were established, that continues on. Okay. That is not something that goes away. And so that is where I have found that I can say I am really successful in creating this environment of trust and just benefit to everybody. Okay. I love that, Kristen. And I love, I ask people in a moment, what's your definition of success? But things can change. And that's a perfect example of it. I love that. Yeah. So how do you handle failures and mistakes? That changed it all. So let me tell you, because I've had this conversation with one of my installers. I've gotten better. What I have decided is that, when people are like, oh, you're developing your business, what sets you apart from everybody else? What do you do differently? Okay, at the bottom of it, no. I've seen work that other workrooms do. everybody, we are all just as talented and skilled, right? So I can't say like I do the absolute best work, because maybe I do this one thing really, really well, but somebody else does this just a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to have good customer service when everything goes smoothly.
Yes, it is.
When things go wrong, I feel like that I can step up to that.
Okay.
Right? Because in the moment, it's like, okay, this didn't work out. Where's the problem? It's not what the client expected. Okay, where was the miscommunication?
Mm-hmm.
What needs to happen? What is their vision? What needs to change? And how do we make that change happen?
Okay.
And so and I've actually had one of my designers, they told me that one of the things that they love working with me is that they know things are not going to go smoothly every single time.
Mm-hmm.
But they know that if there's a problem, that I will keep at it until it's resolved.
Yeah. And I know there have been studies done that like the final feeling that a customer has after a service is actually more significant if there's been a problem that's been fixed than if everything went smoothly. And as you said, like,
that's interesting.
Designers are used to working with multiple people on a job. And if you're the one person that they can step back and go, yeah, whatever happens, Kristen's going to make it okay. So I'm not worried about this. I feel like for those of us who are to the trade, we've just taken a whole lot of stress off of their brains.
Yes.
Because even if the installer who measured screwed up and the measurement isn't right, we will take care of it.
Exactly.
We will get it fixed. Okay.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
And fortunately, my installers too work the same way. If there is a problem, no, we are on this until we figure it out.
Okay. Yeah. And that makes a huge difference.
So I have that on the ground support in addition to us.
All right. So you had mentioned that your husband, Chris, handles all the technology because he's an engineer, correct?
Yes, he is gadget man.
Okay. So have you added any new technology to your business as you've grown?
Oh, no. If anything, I've probably gone backwards.
It's analog all the way for Kristen.
So the one thing that I have added is Google Calendar.
Okay.
I was not using that, and I finally jumped in about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And that has absolutely been amazing. I do really love that. But even so, I have the base is in Google Calendars. And then every week I sit down with my calendar and I put it into my agenda on paper.
Okay.
My brain just happens to work better.
Yeah. And I think that's great that you know that and you can make it work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Chris we just had this the other day. I was like, having a problem. It won't save this file. Can you take a look and see what's going on? And he looks at it. He's like, what did you do here? Going through and he's like, wait, why do you have everything saved in the cloud instead of on this? And I was like, I didn't even know it was on the cloud.
I didn't know.
Don't know how it got there. And in 5 minutes, he's got it fixed, of course. But I'm just like, I don't even know how I messed it up. Is what it comes down to. So paper is much safer for me. Okay.
All right. I respect that. So now that you've moved and you have a little bit more room, has anything changed about like your favorite business, your favorite tools, your favorite things in the workroom, or is everything still the same as it was before?
I think pretty much same as before. The thing that's been really helpful is that we're not split into the workroom and the shipping container storage.
Okay.
Everything is in one location.
Okay.
So it makes it a lot easier for my ladies when they're ready to move to the next project to pull fabric.
Okay.
It's just in the fabric room.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, no, game changer. Game changer at the new place. We have a dumpster.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh. Because of course we get a ton of cardboard
Mm-hmm.
and I'd have to like save it and stack it up until it was a big stack, load it all up in my truck, drive to the recycler. Like it was a 2-hour process
Okay.
that I'd have to like pump myself up for like
Yep,
every
I get
quarter.
that. I get that.
And now, no, at the end of the day, you just run and you just toss everything in the dumpster.
Oh, how nice.
I love it.
Clean up as you go.
Yep. And it's included in my rent.
Okay. So we did talk about you doing some sewing for yourself in the past, and that there are projects like you will knit while you're a passenger in a car and things like that. Are you still able to keep up with that? Do you do any sewing for yourself as your business has grown?
I not as much as I would like.
Okay.
But I do. I've got a cross stitch I've been working on for about 10 years now. Maybe another 5, we'll get it finished.
Okay.
And I have a knitting project on the needles that has been going on for 2 years now.
Okay.
I did just made new drapes and shades for my guest room. We're in the process of kind of redecorating and renovating that. And I've also taken up calligraphy. I took a class with a friend for a girls' night out. Mm-hmm. And found it to be really calming. Okay. And so I don't spend a lot of time on anything, but just a little bit here and there. Okay. Enjoy the process of it.
Okay. All right. So I'm curious, have you noticed a change in any of your skills as you've grown the business? Are there skills you've developed as your business has grown and changed?
I think that I think I make decisions much more quickly.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes. Making decisions a little bit faster, not turning myself inside out.
Great.
In overanalyzing. And just saying, nope, this is what we're going to do. Let's move forward.
2 really valuable skills. If you have a chance, can you teach me?
I'll go ahead and put together a syllabus in my spare time.
Absolutely. Yeah, in your spare time. Yeah. What are you most happy about with your move?
Just the breathing space.
Okay.
The breathing space, and it just feels more organized.
Okay, that's a good feeling.
It really, we're still in the process, of getting all the new stuff sorted out, but I feel like we're developing processes that are just making things easier.
Okay.
Having everything delivered right here, being able to unpack immediately, helps me catch hardware issues early.
Okay.
I feel like things have started to flow a little bit better.
Okay. Is there anything about the move you don't like?
It's been a struggle because while there's air conditioning, it's also a warehouse space.
Okay.
And while I tend to run very cold, my ladies tend to run hot.
Okay.
And so it has been a battle this summer. It did make a big difference when we got the insulated door. Mm-hmm. It's just been a process of like, okay, we add some fans here. I got them the personal air conditioners, the little neck air conditioners. Yes. So we're going to see what has to happen next summer.
Okay.
But that's been a struggle.
Okay. And it's a change in location. So
it's a change in location, height of the ceilings, and just, it's Texas.
Yeah.
What it is.
Kristen, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So I am starting to, in my head, brainstorm exit strategies.
Okay.
Right now, as we all know, this could change anytime.
Yeah.
Right now, my ideal exit strategy, I would love to bring somebody on who, with the intention of them buying the business and having them, having it be a transition process, right?
Okay.
Bringing them on into working with me, working in the business, and then letting me be able to slowly step out of it.
Okay.
And hand it over. Because I think that I know one of the big challenges selling a business is the client list is, of course, the most valuable thing.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make sure that your clients stay with the new owner? And I think
Really good point.
And I think that if it was that turnover transition where they learn about from the inside,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then can introduce, hopefully that those relationships would stay and then be valuable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm, in another 5 years, I want to be kind of scouting that person.
Okay.
And starting to see, making sure that the business is set up in a way that's going to make that work.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of people, always say, I'm going to die at my sewing machine. I may, but I don't want to be doing it for work. I want to be doing it for something I love.
Okay.
Not to say that I don't love this, but
No, I understand that answer. I really do.
yeah. So yeah, I do want to retire. And so the next 5 years, I think, is when I'm going to need to start focusing on how I make that happen.
Okay. All right. I love that answer. So I know that you are on Facebook. Are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram. Yes.
Okay. I'll put links to your accounts in the show notes for people. So I could talk to you all day, but everybody's got work to do. So
we have to go measure sites.
Yes, we can. So I'm curious, what advice would you give to someone who is considering moving out of their current space?
I would say start squirreling away money. It's probably going to, because you need to take in not just what your lease is going to be, but do you need to do any improvements? Insurance is going to increase. You're going to probably need to add in additional tables or shelves. All of that does, the refrigerator, because now we have a break room.
It's no longer your kitchen refrigerator.
It is no longer my kitchen refrigerator. And so, yeah, so I think, yep, if you think that that's in your future, start socking away where you can.
Okay.
Because if you don't end up moving, great. Now you have this little lovely bonus here, right?
There you go.
And maybe it's time to take a little mini break. I think it's be patient. This has been 5 years coming.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing ever was quite right.
Right. And you knew it.
And I knew it. And so I feel like rather than forcing into something that wasn't the right answer, slogging through for 5 years has paid off to find the right location.
Okay.
Yeah. And make sure you're insured.
Make sure you're insured. Good one.
Your horror stories.
Kristen, thank you so much for taking the time. It was such a pleasure for me when I reached out and you said that you wanted to do this, because I really was so excited to see what's changed for you and how your business has grown. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today.
It was so good to catch up with you. I've enjoyed it.
Good. I'm so glad. I really hope that you enjoyed hearing from Kristen today. It was so nice to catch up and hear about the changes in her business and how that's changed and how she's changed and developed. I love that she's establishing boundaries and didn't even realize it. It fascinates me how all of us can take whatever business model we want and make our businesses work for us. I also love that her patience in finding the right space, that she had the patience for finding the right space and she didn't feel rushed and she took her time until she found exactly the right space. I hope you enjoyed hearing from Kristen today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great day.